just informing you that we won't be assisting with Richard at all. You'll have to manage everything on your own. It's surprising I have to message you to stop. Eddie shouldn't be expected to help just because he's your son, and I won't assist just because I'm his wife.
Hello, is this Laura?
Eddie already filled me in. You requested his help with Richard's hospital transfer last week, right? It's just signing a few forms. You can handle that by yourself. Why involve your son, Mom? You can't just make your kids do things whenever you want. He's not your maid or caretaker.
I never intended that. I thought some extra support would be nice, and maybe Eddie would want to be involved in major decisions about his dad. The doctor mentioned a longer hospital stay this time. The new hospital is farther from my place, but close to you and Eddie, so I hoped for a bit of help. I wouldn't drop the responsibility on you two. I know you're busy.
Is that really the case? You seem understanding, but it feels like you're trying to spin this scenario. You might complain about your back hurting and expect us to help. Anything inconvenient, like late-night visits or driving Richard to appointments, you'll pass off to us.
I've told you I have no intention of doing that.
Sure. For the record, we won't be helping, and Eddie is very busy with work lately. He has no time to rest Monday to Friday, so weekends are crucial for us. It's our time as a couple for activities like watching a movie or having a date night. Weekends are sacred. We won't sacrifice them just because you're his parents.
I'm not asking you to come every week. I just wish Eddie would visit his dad at least once a month. That's all I'm asking for. I don't want Richard to forget his own son's face. Seeing his son and having a chat occasionally would mean the world to Richard. You don't have to see it as helping out. Just consider it a visit. It would make us so happy.
No way! You're asking for the impossible. If you want to see him that badly, we can just send you a picture. You don't have a problem with that, right?
All right, I give up. I tried pleading with Eddie last week. I understand he's busy, but what about you? Eddie mentioned you quit the part-time job you started earlier this year. Since you aren't working, could you spare some time to look after Richard? Even if it's just once every week or two. He's your father-in-law. A little help is all I'm asking for.
Come again. You can't be serious. Why do I have to come help with? After trying to involve Eddie, you're going to try with me too. It's not like I'm your actual daughter, you know. You're really something, casually demanding others to come and help you.
But you refused when I asked for Eddie, my actual son, to help.
My God, you're so annoying, always telling others to do this and do that. If your son won't do it, then you just shove the responsibility onto his wife. I really hit the jackpot with you as a mother-in-law, huh? This is the worst.
What did you just say?
Just for the record again, Eddie and I won't be helping with Richard at all. It's the wife's job to support her husband. Since you've been with Richard for so long, it's natural that you, as his wife, should handle his hospitalization and take care of him alone. So don't drag other people into this.
Mom? What the hell? Why didn't you tell me anything? I called home and got the answering machine saying that Dad is going to be admitted to a nursing home. Are you for real?
That's right. It's real. Although Dad's symptoms got better, he's much weaker now. His strength and stamina aren't what they used to be. The doctor said he will probably have to stay in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I talked with the hospital staff, and they helped me get the assessment to admit him to the nursing home and even assisted me in selecting one.
No way. So you're saying that Dad's going to stay in the nursing home from now on?
Well, if you and Laura offered to help, I would have considered taking care of him at home. Then I could spend more time with him too. But you two are too busy, right? I definitely can't do it on my own. That's why I decided to admit him to the nursing home. I do apologize for not telling you, but I hope you can understand. You don't need to worry about anything. I'll deal with all the paperwork and preparations for your dad.
No. You can't do that. I won't allow it. I'm 100 opposed to Dad being admitted. Mom, stop with the excuses. You can definitely take care of Dad by yourself. It's not like you're old and sick. You're perfectly capable.
Come again?
I mean, just think about how much it'll cost for the nursing home. You have to pay for rent, food, utilities, the staff. Can't you see what a big waste of money that is? If you take care of Dad at home by yourself, it's free.
If it's just money, you don't need to worry. Your dad and I managed to save up some money over the years, so it's fine. There's definitely enough to cover the costs of the nursing home.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. Those savings are for me, aren't they? It's my inheritance, right? We're just a normal middle-class family. So even if we have savings, it's not a lot, right? And you're telling me you want to waste those savings on a nursing home? All it's going to do is decrease my inheritance.
I've had enough of this. How could you say things like that? How could you be worrying about your inheritance when your dad is still laying in the hospital? And to treat everything as if you already own it? Are you an idiot?
The only idiot here is you, Mom. You're totally capable of taking care of Dad on your own. It's not like you're sick or anything. You're admitting Dad to the nursing home. How could you do that to someone you've been with for so long?
It's precisely because we've been together for so long that I want him to spend the rest of his days comfortable in a nursing home where he's cared for. You should feel better knowing that your dad is in the hands of professional nurses and medical staff compared to staying with me, someone with no nursing knowledge. It's not like Laura would enthusiastically help me with Richard, right? So I really can't understand where you're coming from.
We've already established that it's impossible for me or Laura to help. I'm busy with work, and I can't let you push that kind of responsibility onto Laura. She didn't marry me to be your slave. Just take care of Dad at home by yourself. That would solve everything. I won't forgive you if you admit him to the nursing home. You can think of me and Laura, then give Dad 3 times the love and care. That way, we won't waste money. Better than the nursing home, right?
Half a year later. Hello, Laura. What's going on? These movers just came and dropped off a truckload of boxes and furniture at my place. They said it's from you guys.
Oh, perfect. That was so fast. I can't believe everything's already there. In that case, can you help us move our stuff to the living room? It would help us a lot.
What do you mean you? Still haven't answered my question yet. Why is all of your stuff here? Why would you pull something like this on the day of Richard's funeral service? What is the meaning of this?
Oh, was the funeral today? Oops. Well, I guess we can't put it in the living room then. Can you move it to the 2nd floor instead? That way, it won't be in the way of the service, right? Oh, yes. To answer your question, we decided to take this chance to move in.
You guys are moving into this house?
I mean, Richard passed away much faster than expected. Your place is so big. It's a waste for you to live here alone, right? That's why Eddie and I discussed it, and we decided that this would be the perfect chance to move in.
So you two are going to move in and keep me company from now on, since Richard is gone? I can't believe you two considered my situation and decided to stay with me. I'm so touched. I'm so happy I could cry.
Oh my God, no. You got it all wrong. Even as a joke, it's not funny. Do you know what a pain it is to live with your mother-in-law, especially one like you? There's no way I'd ever agree to do something like that.
But you're living in my house, aren't you?
Yup, but you didn't let me finish. We will be living there, but you won't. So please hurry up and move out. From now on, it's just going to be me and Eddie in that nice big house.
Are you joking?
But man, I can't believe I forgot that the funeral was today. We already made plans to move in today, too. It's a pain, but I guess we'll postpone the move until tomorrow after the funeral ends.
Laura, wait a minute, please. Are you serious about kicking me out and then taking over my house with just the 2 of you? How could you kick out an elder family member like that? If Eddie hears about this, he is going to be very upset.
What? You're so funny. It's Quite the opposite. He's actually in agreement with me, you know? Just so you know, Eddie was the one who suggested moving into your place.
He did?
The timing was perfect since we were debating if we should build our own house or keep renting. But real estate prices in this area have gone off the charts lately, and we just can't afford it. And that's when Richard passed away. Perfect timing, as if he knew. Then Eddie said, "My parents' place is old, but it's super spacious, and after we do some renovations, it'll be a great place." So there you have it. He's the one who suggested we take the chance to renovate and turn it into a nice house for ourselves without having to pay for land or a construction company to build it.
No way. I can't believe Eddie would say that.
So it would be great if you could hurry up and move out. Okay? That way, we can start on the renovations faster too.
Even if you tell me to get out, where would I go? Did you two even think about me? If you're going to chase me out, the very least you could do is look for a place for me.
Why will we do that? Why don't you just go to a nursing home or something? I heard it's difficult for single seniors to find a place recently. No one wants to rent to someone who's going to die soon. That's why you should just take this chance and go to a nursing home. You know, it's for your own good. That way, we don't have to worry about taking care of you in the future either. It's like killing two birds with one stone.
How could you say things like that? Didn't you two aggressively disagree when I wanted to admit Richard to a nursing home? And now you're saying I should go to one? So if it makes things easier for you, then the nursing home is okay.
I have to admit, it's because we didn't know much about nursing homes then. When I looked it up, turns out there's a range of prices, and it's way cheaper than we thought. If you go to an old beat-up one in the countryside, it's only about $350 a month. I think it would be perfect if you go to one of those cheaper homes.
You want to ship me off to an old nursing home that you didn't even bother to research or go to check in person? You don't expect me to pay for everything by myself, right? Since you two are the ones kicking me out, you are going to cover all the expenses, right?
You can't be serious. Why would we even pay a cent? If you're smart about your spending, you can probably pay off the nursing home fees with your government pension and savings, right? Please be smart with your finances because Eddie and I have no intentions of contributing anything.
I can't believe this.
You're getting old either way and probably don't have that long left, you know. Since that's the case, you might as well just leave the house to us now, since it's going to be ours sooner or later anyway. Well then, please find a cheap nursing home and move out as soon as possible. Your son and his wife are going to enjoy this nice big home now. So you should hurry up and get out of our way by going to some nursing home.
I guess I'll just leave everything to Eddie's inheritance.
Wow, I didn't know you were such a good listener. I never thought you would just offer it up on a silver platter like this. What's with you changing your mind all of a sudden?
I'm just so tired and heartbroken because of you two. Even though today is Richard's funeral, and I asked you two to come early to help, you didn't even show up. I can't believe you forgot about it. Not just that, but you chose to send all of your stuff over today, of all days, and now you're telling me you want to take over the house all of a sudden. At this point, I'm willing to give you two everything. The house, the inheritance, so please don't contact me ever again. If you can promise me that, then I'll hand over everything with no complaints.
Score. Of course. We promise.
After today's funeral, I'll get out of this house, so please wait until then. Well then, I'll leave the hoards of stuff to you two. Please think of everything as Richard's precious belongings and Eddie's inheritance, okay?
Sorry? What do you mean by hoards of stuff?
My apologies, but the funeral is about to start. Well then, see you, Laura. The next day.
Hey, Rachel, what's the meaning of this? Why is your house in this terrible state? There are mountains of trash on the second floor.
Oh my, it's rude to call it trash. The house, the land, and all of the bits and pieces in it are all things that Richard left for Eddie. Since you two got everything, you should be grateful.
That's ridiculous. What part of this is an inheritance? All I see is trash. A broken umbrella, a dirty chair, broken plates. I could go on and on. What the heck is this?
I already told you, it's Eddie's inheritance. Before Richard passed, he spent all his time collecting this and that little trinkets he found. Even though he's usually confined to the wheelchair, sometimes at night, he'd get up on his own all of a sudden and then go outside.
I don't want any of this crap.
He would just wander around in the middle of the night. After he got discharged from the hospital, Richard's Alzheimer's disease got worse and worse. Just when I would go out to look for him, he'd come back with a bunch of random little things from the street. He probably thought he was bringing presents back for me.
You're calling those presents?
Back in the day, he would always buy me a present every day, just like this. He said it was to show how thankful he was to have me, always supporting the house, taking care of Eddie. He'd always give me things like flowers or cake, little decorations for the house. He'd bring me a present every day without fail. That's why I couldn't bring myself to throw out any of the stuff he collected on his late night walks, you know. It's just too nostalgic. And I didn't want to upset him by throwing anything out either. That's why I just put it all on the second floor, and it's been there till now.
That's why the second floor looks like a hoarder took over. Every single room on the second floor is bursting with stuff, you know. Well, you can still close the doors, right? Just keep them shut, and everything will look fine.
That's how I dealt with it when I was still caring for Richard. I was going to call a garbage removal service to come and clean up for me after Richard passed away. But I have to thank you and Eddie because you saved me the trouble and money by demanding the house and inheritance.
Stop joking around. You better come and do something about it. Why do we have to deal with the cleanup and everything?
I mean, you demanded I gave you everything, right? In other words, all of that garbage is included, so it's yours now. That's why it's your job to clean it up. I did call up a nearby company to get a quote on how much it would cost for them to take everything. He told me it would be around $11,000 for everything.
No way, you can't be serious. Please tell me that's a typo. There's no way garbage removal costs that much.
Well, he told me it's because of the sorting fee, labor fee, and a whole bunch of other costs involved. And there's no other companies in this area, so you really don't have any other choice.
You've got to be kidding me.
If it was me, I would throw it out. But it's Eddie's stuff now, so it's his choice what he wants to do with it, since it's his precious inheritance after all. I mean, you don't have to throw it out. Maybe Eddie wants to keep everything and cherish it all.
Stop screwing with me. Cherish it. Are you serious? The only sane thing to do is to throw it all out? I can't believe this. You said you'd give Eddie the whole inheritance, so where is everything else? Where in the world are the things worth money? Like a savings account or stocks or something. I'm done with this pile of trash. Hurry up and hand over the stuff that's worth money. I bet you're hiding it all somewhere.
Sorry to disappoint you, but there's nothing like that. The only things that Richard left behind are the house and all of the stuff on the second floor.
What do you mean? When you were about to admit Richard to the nursing home, I clearly remember you saying something about it. You said that you have enough savings to pay for the home, so we don't need to worry. Then you ended up just taking care of Richard at home, right? So there's definitely the money that was supposed to be for the nursing home.
You're right, there is. But all of that is from my savings money that I was going to use to pay for Richard's stay. Richard barely had any savings, let alone enough to pay for the nursing home.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
You see, Richard, as great as he was, wasn't someone who was good at saving money or managing his finances. Of course, I'm thankful that he worked hard to pay for all of our living expenses. But he would end up using his whole paycheck so fast since he paid for his hobbies and presents for me every day. That's why all of our savings and assets are from the money I made at my part-time job, since Richard's salary was just enough to survive on. And because of that, all of our savings are under my name.
No way. You're lying, right?
No, I'm telling you the truth. So the only things you two can claim from Richard's inheritance are the very small amount of money from his savings, the house, and everything on the second floor. Everything that you two were after were actually assets in my name.
Oh my God! So we have to pay for everything out of pocket from now on? There's no way those measly savings can even pay for the garbage removal.
Well then, since you know everything, now I'll take my leave. I won't ever come back to that house. So you can do whatever renovations your heart desires. 2 hours later.
Hey, Mom. Can we talk? Laura and I will do all of the cleaning on the second floor. We'll pay for the removal fee, too. So, can you please move back in with us?
What's gotten into you? Even if you wanted to do the renovations, you have no money in your own savings account, and on top of that, you're unemployed. So, with all of that, now you want me to help, right?
Please! I'm begging you, Mom. I know Dad doesn't have any savings, but you definitely do, Laura told me. You can move back in with us, so just pay for the renovations. I'll handle the trash on the second floor and I'll pay for it. I'll make sure Laura treats you well, too. So come back.
No thanks. I did, I was told, when you two kicked me out. I've already found a nursing home to my liking, and I'm almost finished with the application.
What? No way. Mom, please slow down.
It's because while I was looking for one for Dad, it made me realize that I'm also getting older, and I made plans for myself, too. They even worried about me and gave me so much advice and suggestions. It really is such a great hospital. Then, all the best to you and Laura. I won't concern myself with you two anymore. Afterwards, I was able to get into my first choice nursing home. I heard that Eddie and Laura got so desperate that they went to the hospital Richard stayed at to find out where I was staying. Apparently, they got a bit violent, and the staff had to call security to kick them out. And the cherry on top is when they shamed and scolded them. After all that, Laura found out Eddie was laid off, and the fact that their savings were all used up. I heard she nearly collapsed from the shock. My old neighbors told me that Eddie had troubles finding a job and thought he was too good to work part-time gigs. They also told me that no one in the neighborhood likes Eddie and Laura.
Natalie, we need to talk.
What's wrong, Mom?
About your high school. You said you want to go to the private school in the other city, right?
Yeah, Mom. I really want to go to that school.
You know that school is a bit far from our home?
I know it's a bit far, but it's such a great school. They have an amazing cheerleading team and I want to be a part of it. Their uniform is so cute too.
All right, Natalie. Then let's go check out the school next week and ask about the enrollment.
Really, Mom? But you said I can't go to that school because I'll have to wake up real early. And you don't want to have to wake me up every morning. I thought you weren't going to ever let me go there. What changed your mind, Mom?
You won't have to wake up too early if we live close to the school. It won't be a problem anymore. I won't have to wake you up and you can walk yourself to school. So getting to class on time will be your responsibility.
Just you and I? I mean, I'd be happy to be living close to the school, but what about Dad? Isn't he moving with us?
No, Natalie. Your dad and I are thinking of getting divorced. We're thinking we should get divorced by the time you graduate from your current. After that, we can move to the area close to your high school. Just you and I, Natalie. Do you think it's a good idea?
Why are you getting divorced, Mom? What's the reason?
It's just that your dad and I had a big fight. We can't stay together anymore. We've had many fights before, but this one is just a bit too much. So divorce is the only solution we could come up with.
Mom, could it be that the real reason you're getting divorced is because Dad cheated on you?
How did you know that, Natalie?
Yeah, I saw him holding hands with a young woman not long ago.
I'm sorry you had to see something like that. It must have been shocking to see him with a woman. But this makes it easier to talk to you since you know the truth already. Your dad betrayed us by being with that other woman. You and I don't seem to matter as much to him anymore. That's why I thought it'd be a good idea for us to move to a different city away from here. Just you and I together.
I'm not going with you. I'd rather stay here with Dad. So if you still want to move to a different city, you can go ahead, but do that on your own. I'm not coming along. Don't bring me into your mess.
Natalie, what are you talking about? Are you saying that you prefer to stay with Dad even though he betrayed us?
That's what I'm saying. It's not something unusual. I see celebrities cheating on each other all the time. It's not a big deal. He might be cheating on you, but he's still a good dad. He makes good money and buys me anything I need. Sure, but that's not all, is it? He barely spends time with us anymore. Well, if he wasn't making enough money, that would be a problem. But he works hard and makes lots of money, and that's good enough for me. I don't care if he doesn't spend a lot of time with me. Dad makes a lot more money than you. So there's no way I'm choosing to be with you.
Are you saying that you're choosing which parent to go with just by their amount of income? Is that what you're really saying?
I'm just 15 now. I needs to be financially supported by an adult. Am I saying something wrong?
Well, then you should be picking me.
What? Are you kidding?
Natalie, work is different. You should know one thing.
I know nothing, Mom. I already know that you only make little money comparing to Dad. I don't want to have to hear any excuses or lies from you. Just leave us alone and go live on your own. You're pretty much a housewife with no money.
A housewife with no money? Is that how you see me?
Sorry, Mom, but Dad told me everything. He told me that you two are thinking of getting divorced. And when you do, he told me not to go with you because I'll end up having to live dirt poor. I don't want to be poor.
Did he really say that to you? I can't believe it.
No matter what you say, I'm going to live with Dad. You can go ahead and move to a different city anytime you want. You don't have to wait for my graduation. Mom. I heard from Dad that you're getting kicked out by him. Apparently, he told you to get out of the house. Is that true?
Yes, he did. That's what he told me. That's why I started to pack my stuff and getting ready to leave.
You seem really calm, Mom. I thought you'd be sobbing and whining about having to leave.
Natalie, I'm going to ask you one last time. Are you sure you're going to stay with Dad? You really don't want to come along with me?
Stop being so annoying, Mom. I already told you like a million times that I'm choosing Dad. Stop asking me that question.
Do you understand that he just goes off and puts his needs before his family's? He cheated on me, Natalie. That's not what a decent adult does when they're married. You're old enough to understand the difference, right? I just want you to rethink. This is a very important decision before you regret it. Also, remember how your dad was never really there for you at any of the important life events.
Yeah, but he always tried to make it up by buying me stuff. It's not all that bad. So, Mom, stop making it sound like he's a terrible person. Plus, what matters to me more is who has enough money to keep me happy.
If that's what matters to you the most, then you should be coming along with me.
What? You're a right minimum wage job. There's no way you make enough money to keep me happy.
It's not like what you think, Natalie.
Okay, Mom. Go start with your excuses again. I don't want to hear any of it. You should be more worried about yourself, Mom.
Why should I be worried about myself?
Because you should just let Dad be with whoever he wants, but stay married to him. Are you sure you're going to be financially okay if you divorce him?
Why would I do that? There's no way I'm accepting your dad and his infidelity. How could you even say that to me?
Well, I'm just worried about your financial situation after you get divorced. You're going to be poor without him. Stop being so stuck up and just realize that you need to have to live a good life. You should be begging him not to get divorced.
Excuse me? Do you realize what you're saying?
Let me ask you one last time. Are you going to be okay without Dad?
Don't worry about me, I'll be fine because I make $200,000 a year.
What? Are you joking?
Thanks for worrying so much about me. I was worried you didn't care about me anymore. I'm glad to know you still care about me. All these years I raised you was not in vain.
Mom, what are you saying? Did you just make a typo or something? You mean 20,000 a year? There's no way you make 200,000. Dad said you don't even make 20,000 a year. You only make half of that.
Dad told you that? Really?
Yeah, he told me you only make 10,000 a year. He said you only make minimum wage and that's why your income is so little. But unlike you, Dad makes 100,000 a year only by working 4 days a week. That's why he said that I'd be much better off with him than you.
Okay, first thing you should know is that someone who can cheat on others is also a person who can easily lie to others. Don't believe anything your dad says. Your dad's making 100,000 a year by working just 4 days a week? Don't make me laugh, Natalie. It's all a lie. He doesn't even have a job.
What? What do you mean he doesn't have a job? You mean he's unemployed now? That's crazy.
You seem to have believed everything your dad says, Natalie. But the truth is that he's not working at all. He stopped working 3 years ago when he quit his job. I worked hard because your dad won't work. And I ended up making $200,000 a year. I'm the one who feeds you and your dad not just by cooking. I'm the one who makes the money that takes care of everything in this family. And of course, including the things your dad bought you.
How do I know you're telling the truth? Maybe Dad is telling the truth and you're lying to just win me over.
If you don't believe me, why don't you go ask your dad?
But he already told me the truth and you're lying. I'm 100% sure there's no way he quit his job. Dad's been gone every day from early morning until late at night. He was just in formal clothes whenever we left the house.
That's just how he dresses. So that nobody thinks he's an unemployed. But the truth is he's been going to Grandma's house every day.
What? Why he visits the grandma?
He was visiting Grandma every day to take care of her. You've been so busy with school activities and hanging out with friends that you haven't visited Grandma for so long. But I guess Dad hasn't told you that Grandma is not doing so well. Her illness is getting so bad that she can't take care of herself anymore.
What? I didn't know about that. Why didn't Dad tell me? But Mom, Dad's not being lazy and doing nothing all day. He's actually taking care of Grandma. He didn't tell you because he didn't want you to know he's unemployed. But that's good that he's taking care of Grandma. He shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's not an easy thing to do. I'm proud of him.
That's what I thought of him too at first.
Oh, what do you mean? Aren't you proud of him?
I was proud of him for the first year he was actually taking care of her all by himself. But he put her into the nursing home 2 years ago and kept lying to me that he was still taking care of her. He was actually doing nothing for these past couple of years. He lied to me so that I wouldn't be asking him to get a job again. So he kept using Grandma as an excuse to not looking for a job.
Then what is he doing now? Does he still go to Grandma's house?
Yes, he just goes there and watches YouTube and plays video games all day long. He eats takeout pizza every day. He's living the life of a teenager's dream. And in the end he got so bored that he started seeing other women.
What? I can't believe it. He's been using the money you worked hard to get to order pizza and go on dates with other women?
Yes, but you still want to be with Dad, right? I'll leave the house to you too. I hope you have fun living with your dad and your new mom.
Mom. Please text me back right now.
What's that? You seem to be in a hurry. Is something wrong? Just tell me.
Please don't leave without me. I'm coming along with you. I decided to stay with you, Mom. I'll end up being poor if I stay with Dad. I don't want. I'm sorry I misunderstood you, Mom. So please take me with you.
I thought you wanted to stay with Dad.
I heard from Dad that you got a lawyer and you're going to take everything. He said he's going to have nothing left.
Yes, I'm going to get him to pay for what he did. In the divorce settlements, it'll be taken into consideration how much he leached off me. I'm not a petty person, but I have no compassion left for that man. My lawyers will make sure I get everything. His parents also helped him keep his affair and about Grandma being in a nursing home a secret. So I'm cutting off the money I've been sending monthly. Of course, being divorced, I would have no reason to send it anyway. But they didn't know your father is unemployed.
Because of that, everyone is fighting with each other here. They're screaming and yelling right and left. Plus, everyone is saying that they don't want anything to do with Dad anymore.
I'm sorry you're having to go through that.
Dad didn't think you'd end up having to pay you so much money. He doesn't have a job and is not capable of paying a lot of money. He has to pay nothing or something like $5,000.
He really thought I was going to take it easy? Even if he can't pay now, he'll have to find a way to pay for all of it. I'm putting in a lot of money to sue him. I'm not losing this case to him.
Not only did he think he had to pay you very little, he was planning on having us live at Grandpa's house. Then they wouldn't have to pay for rent and Dad's girlfriend has a job that pays pretty well.
So he was thinking of relying on her financially. Wow, he was going to stay jobless even after he got divorced. He really doesn't want to work?
His girlfriend didn't know that we were all going to live together at Grandpa's place. When she found out that Dad was intending on getting her to financially support us, she got furious and left. Now we can't get a hold of her. She won't answer any of Dad's phone calls or reply to his messages.
I'd be furious too if I were her. That man needs to get his priorities straight or he's going to lose everything.
After that, Dad went to Grandpa to ask him to lend some money. Then Grandpa got angry, saying that it's all Dad's fault that Grandpa is losing his monthly allowance. So Dad that he's no longer his son and kicked us out of the house.
I guess nobody thought that telling lies to me would end up like this. They were all taking me for granted and now seeing what's happening to them? I'm not going to let anybody mess with me anymore.
I don't want to end up being alone with my unemployed dad. He's telling me to drop out of school and get a job as soon as possible.
There's no way he'd be able to pay for that private school. Can't believe that he's trying to get his daughter to work so that he doesn't have to work. How low can he think?
I don't want to stay with him anymore, Mom. Let me be with you.
Natalie. I don't want to take you anymore after all. Don't you forget things you've said to me? I feel like all those years I raised you was lost in vain. I felt like not only your dad abandoned me but my own daughter did too.
Please don't say that, Mom. I only misunderstood. I'm sorry.
You only changed your mind because you finally realized that I have money and your dad doesn't even know. That's what I tried to tell you before so you could make the right decision. But you wouldn't believe me. Now you take your consequences for your decision. I'm not going to help you out. I think I spoiled you too much that you became like this. You need to learn the hard way so you can grow up to be a proper adult.
If you're not going to take me back, then we have an idea too. We're going to get you to pay us $5,000 every month for child support. Dad told me that you're going to have to pay that much.
Sure, but your dad and everyone else can't pay me the amount they're supposed to pay me. So I'll just subduct it from the child support money that I'm supposed to give to your dad. Which it'll leave you with nothing for a while.
How? I don't get it. That means we won't get any child support money forever.
Yes, you should know that.
Wait. You're really not going to help me?
Sorry, Natalie, but I can't do anything else. You need to learn a lesson after all. After that, I decided to file for divorce. According to the judge, the money my ex-husband is supposed to pay to Natalie will be deducted from the child support. Because of her father's unemployment, Natalie had to get a part-time job while she attended her local high school. She soon became rebellious and often got into trouble with the police. My ex-husband is about to find another girlfriend who makes a lot of money so that he can leech off of her. Of course, my ex refused to do any housework. Consequently, it soon caused constant fights between them. Well, that's what they deserved. My life now is so free and enjoyable.
Hey, can I have a moment of your time? There's something I need to discuss with you.
You want to have a discussion about something? Through text messages? Why not speak to me in person instead of choosing another method? I mean, we live under the same roof after all. There's nothing amiss with having a conversation in person, you know?
Well, have you ever thought that maybe I just don't want to talk to you in person? Frankly, the very idea of talking to you face to face and looking at your visage causes me to feel queasy.
Sweetie, there's really no need to use such awful language with me. I was just making a suggestion.
Don't call me sweetie and stop trying to be my mom. You'll never be her, got it? You may have been married to my dad, but you will never be my mother ever. So stop telling me what to do. I hate it when you do that.
I see what you mean, and I am sorry if I overstepped a boundary somewhere. I didn't mean to do that. But I really don't see why something as small as this needs to turn into such a huge fight. I mean, I've been married to your father for 10 years now. We've lived together a whole decade. I would just have thought we would have gotten along better by now. Especially now more than ever, since your poor father passed. It's just the two of us, so we'll have to learn to get along better.
What? No way am I living with you any longer than I have to. I want you out of the house as soon as possible. Do you hear me?
Excuse me. I'm sorry, but you want me to leave the house.
Yeah, that's what I just said. That is what I wanted to talk to you about in the first place. Actually, I've been wanting to say this to you since Dad's funeral began the other day. Now that he's dead, you're not his wife and there's nothing else holding us together as family. You're nothing to either my dad nor I now, do you understand? And as such you have no right to be staying in this house any longer. That is why I want you out of here as soon as possible.
Wait. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, but I think that I'm following here. Where is all of this coming from all of a sudden?
Didn't you read what I just wrote? This isn't just all of a sudden, okay? You never listened to me. I never wanted you here and I never wanted you and my dad to get married. I have always been trying to think of ways to get you out of this house and now I have the perfect reason. I only have one mom even if she did walk out on us years ago. And that's why I hate you so much. You just barged into our lives pretending to be someone you're not. Do you really think I could ever live with someone I felt that way about? Do you even think I would want something like that? That is why I'm taking this chance to kick you out so I never have to deal with you in my life ever again.
But... Okay, look, Salim, I have known since before we got married that you never liked me. Maybe even hated me, but I pretended not to see it. But to try and force me out of the home where I'd been living the past 10 years of my life so soon after the funeral.
That's right, and since Dad's dead, there's no one left who will speak up for you. No one else who let you into her home. Full of memories of my family, my real mom and dad, and just let you mess it all up. Besides, this house was my dad's, which means it's mine now and I can do whatever I want with it. So just hurry up and leave already.
But Salim, if I leave now you'll be all by yourself in this big place. Have you ever lived on your own before? Do you even know how to take care of yourself?
Of course I can take care of myself. I'm 18 soon and that's technically an adult. It's no big deal living by yourself. Do you think I'm too weak or stupid to be able to? Are you just making fun of me now?
No, Salim, of course I'm not trying to look down on you in any way. I would never. I'm just worried about you is all. Chores and cooking are one thing, but how will you get money to afford everything that comes with living alone?
Shut up and get off my back. I thought I told you that you're not my mom and you shouldn't try to be.
But you're gonna be in college soon. I'm just wondering from where you're gonna find the money you need to survive. I mean, even what you inherited from your dad won't last forever, you know?
Well, who asked you to worry about me anyways? I certainly don't remember ever asking for your input. As for money, I'll think of something and make my own way in life.
I really don't think it'll be as simple to do as you think.
How many times do I have to tell you, just mind your own business? This is why I hate talking to you. Just leave me alone already, okay? Why don't you go pack your stuff and leave like I told you?
Well, I guess if that's really how you feel about everything, then I really have no choice but to go. But can you at least give me some more time to prepare my things? I understand you want me out as soon as possible. But even so, it's not that simple, and I have lots of things I'd need to get done before I could make that happen. I haven't even gone through all your dad's things to sort through them.
No. I won't be letting you do that. Who knows what you might try to steal if I let you go through all my dad's stuff. And besides, if I let you stay any longer then you'll just find some reason to extend your stay. And so on, and nothing will change. Did you really think I'd let you get away with that? Now I want you out of the house by the time we finish with the funeral processes. I'm his daughter, which means that I get to choose who lives in his house after he's gone. And I've decided the one person the Peter house definitely doesn't need is you. So if you really understand where I'm coming from, then you'll just shut up, pack your things, and leave.
I understand. I guess I just never realized just how strongly you felt about living together with me. I'll leave the house, I promise. And I promise that I'll never come back once I'm gone. But I just want to let you know that things might get really tough for you once I'm gone. You're not going to regret this, are you?
Me? Regret kicking you out? As if. It'll be more like a dream come true than anything.
Salim, I'm just texting to let you know that I finished moving all of my things out of the house. I also wanted to thank you for everything until now, even if we didn't always get along.
And just who told you it was okay for you to be texting me? Did I ever ask about how the move was going for you? Did I mention anything about needing a report? I think I'll just go ahead and block you. If you aren't gonna respect the fact that I never want to hear from you again.
No, you're right. I'm sorry for reaching out like this. You'll never have to see me again after this, I promise. But I do just have one last thing, concerning rent for the house. I know that this month has been a lot, so you won't have to pay this time, but starting from next month, I'm going to be collecting rent from you.
Rent? For what? The house? What are you even talking about?
Well, yes. I'm talking about the house actually. Because we've been living together as a family this whole time, it wasn't necessary, but since you don't want anything to do with me as a family anymore, that just makes me your landlord now.
Have you lost your mind or something? Just why should I have to pay you rent to keep living in my dad's house?
Why? You ask? Well, because the house is actually mine.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? I don't understand.
What? Oh, Salim, had you not heard about that? Yes, I hold the deed to the house where we all used to live.
What? That's not true. You're just lying to me. I've always lived here even before you and my dad got married. This house belongs to my family. You don't own this place, you're just lying.
Well, yes, your dad did used to have the title to the house. But I actually bought the title of the house from him some 6 or 7 years ago now, I believe. You see, your grandma was tricked by one of those telephone scammers and lost a lot of money. You might have been too young to remember, but it was a disaster for her. Well, that's when I stepped in and offered to help pay for all the debt your grandma had accumulated. Your dad was so grateful that he offered me the house then and there.
And just where did you come into so much money? I never once seen you go to work in the whole time that I've known you. You're just a housewife.
A housewife? Oh, Salim, that is just not true. I run my own company. Did you really not know about that at all?
You do what? Since when was this?
All the operations are handled online, so all the staff work remotely. We don't even have an office we could all commute to if we wanted to. I guess it would be hard to guess just because I do actually spend so much time at home. But a lot of that time I'm essentially working as company president.
That's not true. You keep lying to me.
Salim, it's not a lie, I swear it. That is how I was able to help out your grandma after she was scammed.
So you're telling me the truth?
Of course I am. I wouldn't lie to you. Do you believe me when I say the house is actually mine? Anyways, next month's rent is $2,000, okay?
$2,000? There's no way I can afford to pay that.
Well, you can't just live in a place you don't own and not pay rent. Furthermore, I recall you mentioning that being a grown-up means having the capability to pave one's own path, right?
Well, yeah, I said that. But I didn't know about all that other stuff until just now.
Well, what did you think was gonna happen? Did you think you could just come and make me cough up money for you whenever you needed it? Were you planning on trying to get me to pay for everything, while you bragged about having your house? I mean, I know an independent adult such as yourself would never.
No. Of course I wasn't planning on trying to get money out of you. It's just the $2,000 is a lot to pay all of a sudden.
Well, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, I own the property. So if you're going to be kicking me out to live on your own, then you'll have to pay the rent to the landlord who happens to be me.
But wait. Truly we can talk this out.
Well, how about I cut you a deal? I won't make you pay a rent for the first 3 months. But after that, if I don't see any money, I'm gonna have to kick you out. Anyways, I'm a little busy right now, so we'll have to continue this talk later. I'll send all the rental paperwork to you this week. Keep an eye on your mailbox until then. Okay, see you.
Wait. Don't go. We aren't done yet. Maya, are you there? I have something I need to talk to you about.
Oh, Salim. Sure, what can I do for you?
Well, the thing is, I guess what I wanted to ask is, I'm just wondering if you've forgiven me yet.
Forgiven you? For what? What are you talking about?
Well, it's just that. I guess earlier I might have possibly lost my temper a bit and... Well, anyways, I've calmed down a bit now and realized that I might have made a little mistake.
I'm sorry, but I don't quite know what you're talking about. I realize this might be hard for you right now. But could you please just tell me what exactly you're talking about?
I'm trying, but... I guess what I'm trying to tell you really is that... I think if you wanted to come back home now, that'd be okay with me.
Oh, really? Did something change? I feel you just threw me out of the house. Why the sudden turn?
Well, yes. I did do that. But then with you gone, I guess I kind of realized just how much you did around the house. And how much there is to do without you. So I guess that's why.
I think you should just really say what you're actually thinking. It would save us both so much time. But if you're starting to see that managing a house all on your own is hard work, then yes. I completely agree with you. Therefore, I assume that you are unable to afford the rent and have reconsidered evicting me.
I mean, if you worded like that then...
You know, even if I decided to pass up on everything that Peter left me in the will and give it to you, I still don't think you'd have enough to be able to buy the house back from me anyways. And even if you used it to pay rent on this place, unless you found a job to help supplement that, you'd burn through your inheritance pretty quickly, I'd bet. And all of that is not even mentioning all the other expenses you'd be paying that weren't rent.
Well, yeah. That's kind of what I'm figuring out. And on top of that, it is so hard to keep a place this big clean. And I hate having to cook for myself every day. On top of all that, I have my classes and homework to worry about. Plus I have to think of how I can afford the rent. It's just been making me feel ill both physically and mentally.
But of course it is. I figured that living on your own might be especially hard for someone like you. I hope the cooking is going well because I don't remember you helping out in the kitchen once ever. And yet for some reason you thought you were ready to maintain a whole house by yourself.
You're right. And I guess I just never realized all the things that you actually did do for all of us when we lived together. That's why I want to really sincerely apologize for the bratty attitude that I treated you with the other day. I promise to never throw you out of the house again. You always pretended not to see how I really felt about you. But I don't want you to do that anymore. I promise that I'll do my best to see that we get along. So please come back.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I just apologized.
You hated me so much that you couldn't hold back from throwing me out of my own house, just days after your dad's funeral. And now you only want me to come back, because you're getting a taste of the real world, and you're realizing that it's not so easy on your own. I mean, have you put any thought into how you're going to go on like this?
But I apologized. I thought about what I did and realized just how much trouble I caused you over the years. Please, I'm sorry. What else can I say?
And I think that you're just saying that you're sorry. But the only real reason that you want me back is because you've realized how hard it is to do things on your own. So now you want the person that used to cook and clean for you to come back and do all that once again.
No. That's not true, I promise. I really do want to make up with you and try and be friends.
Well, that's the thing, Salim, I don't. I mean, come to think of it, I don't really have a single happy memory of interacting with you. I have worked so hard for so many years to try and get you to notice and appreciate me. But all you've done for the past 10 years is either ignore me or hurl abuse at me. You've only ever used my presence in this house for your own convenience. Even if you didn't realize it until just now. I really don't think I owe you the forgiveness you're looking for.
Please don't say that. Surely we can talk this out. Please. Mom. I'm begging you.
I thought you and I were nobody to each other. Anyways, I'll be expecting next month's rent soon. I'll send you my bank info soon, you can just make the payments through there. Okay, see you.
Wait. Please. It wasn't supposed to happen this way.
I apologize, I reflected on my actions. Please, come back to me. Salim repeatedly apologized, but it became evident that her underlying reasons were to avoid household chores and paying rent. Due to Salim's attitude, I reached out to Peter's older sister, who agreed to take Salim in and teach her some manners before college. After all, she raised 5 kids, 2 boys, 3 girls, who all are now exemplary adults. I had confidence in Peter's older sister's ability to teach Salim housekeeping, accounting, and manners. I'm taking care of their old empty house until the day Salim becomes independent and able to take care of herself. When that day comes, I plan to leave the house to her no strings attached and finally take my leave from her life. Although I don't wish to live with Salim again, as the daughter of the person I loved, I hope that she finds happiness in the future.